guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, it's me, Badjo, the one and only, because it's only me. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get the perfect look for this Valentine's Day. This is not a chit chat get ready with me. This is not no life update, nothing. This is a makeup tut. Very beginner friendly. If you follow this makeup routine step by step, you're gonna look just like this. Everything that I use in this video can be purchased in Superdrug, Boots, or TikTok shop. Listen, you lot are gonna be serving looks this Valentine's Day, so this one is for you. Stay tuned. First things first, skin prep is very important. My skin is not having a great time right now, so I've done my skin prep off camera. I like to start with my eyebrows before I apply primer, before I apply anything. So I'll be using the e.l.f. brow lift gel for my brows. I really was a pencil babe for the longest, and I've also got the e.l.f. brow applicator. This is very beginner friendly, but this is not going to be a beginner makeup appearance. You're not going to look like a beginner when I'm done with this video. We're going to dip our brush in here, ensuring that we don't apply too much to begin with. So we're going to basically brush this through our brows, ensuring that all our hairs are covered. This is quite a new technique for me. I think I've been doing this for about 8 months now. I feel like even if you have no eyebrows, this will really bring out those brows. So you want to brush your hairs in the direction that you want them to kind of fall. I like to brush them upwards. I don't want to brush them together because I don't want some like thin brows. You want to then get the end, just press that through, ensuring that your brows are laying flat. So once you're happy with how flat they are, you want to then get the spoolie again, very faintly go around the brow to basically lay those hairs, the top bit of the hairs, to give it that, you know, if you can see what I'm doing. And as you can see, look at how much more defined my eyebrows look. When you do the other eye, same thing. And this is my brows laid. Before I do anything else, I'm gonna just get a bit of tissue, clean around the brow. I can literally see that it started to dry on this side. I should have done it first because it dries. I'll be using the NYX Lift and Snatch brow gel. So this is actually the felt one. I'm gonna basically fill in where my brows are gappy. I'm not going through it like I would with a pencil. I'm just building up the strokes where I'm missing some hairs. We still want this makeup look to look quite, you know, natural. You know how there's that running joke of birthday makeup? You don't want that running joke of a Valentine's makeup. Like, you don't want your man to see you and be like, who's this? So let's not do too much, okay? I'm pressing down very faintly. When you use this Lift and Snatch brow gel, sometimes you think, brow pencil, sorry, the brow pen, geez. Sometimes you think, oh, nothing is happening. Trust me, I have gotten carried away with this. Look at that. I love that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but the strokes are so faint and so perfect. I've gotten carried away with this product so many times thinking, oh my gosh, like it's not coming out. And then I just blink for a second and my brows look like freaking Little Red Riding Hood. The wall, not the hood. For concealer, I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Cool Tan. It doesn't get more beginner friendly than this. The applicator is so beginner friendly. I just squeeze a tiny bit out, put that on the side, and then I use the brush itself. Like they say, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. If you're looking for a great set of makeup brushes, especially for beginner friendly makeup, you will never go wrong with the Real Technique set in Superdrug, Boots, anything. This comes from that set. And this is what I always use to do my eyebrows. I will never stop using this to blend out my eyebrows because it literally just works perfectly. But the aim is to just blend this downwards. I'm basically wiping away the excess. So here we are, we do the other side. And then with the same concealer brush, I just go up the middle with whatever excess. And I kind of go towards the left brow and then I kind of go towards the right brow. So that is the most difficult part of the makeup tutorial done. Let's get into the fun part now. I've got combination skin. I tend to use a mattifying primer, but then I would hydrate my base first because of my skincare. But in this situation, I do find the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer quite hydrating, but it also ensures that my makeup stays on my face. I am avoiding my eyebrows. I can get as close to them, but I'm not going to touch them. So what you want to do when you use a gripping primer is to ensure that you leave it on for a little bit. Make sure that it absorbs into the skin. The grip effect is activated before we move on to applying our base. I don't actually normally color correct, but I'm going to color correct because my skin is kind of going through it. I color corrected for the very first time about 2-3 days ago. I want to play around with it. My first TikTok shop product is the color case from Made by Mitchell. I think this is great for medium skin, for color correction. As you can see, I've used this shade. This is the shade Peachy, and I'll be using that over my dark marks, really and truly over my whole freaking cheeks because I am having a whole moment. I'm gonna just wipe off the spatula that I use for my eyebrows and I'm gonna just go right in there. To be quite honest, some people might use a brush for this, and where I don't want to go back upstairs, I could actually use a brush. I'll be using the end of this flat brush just to kind of staple in this color corrector. It is quite pigmented, as you know, with a lot of Made by Mitchell stuff. So even right now, I'm looking at myself like, girl, you put a bit too much. much. You put a bit too much. I'm just gonna rub that into my face. You can see that a little really goes a long way. That's quite orangey. If I color corrected heavily on this side, I kind of have to do that on the other side. I'm gonna move on to foundation. Like I said, you can miss this step. If you haven't done this step, do not feel like you need to force it. This is my second time in my life color correcting. I need to go do more research on, you know, what tones and stuff. So just please feel free to ignore this step. But for foundation, I'm going to be using, maybe it's Maybelline. I'm using the Lumi Matte Foundation Super Stay. This is my third time using this foundation actually. I literally got this foundation because I'm like, girl, you cannot be doing tutorials with Urban Decay 40-pound foundations. We need something that the girlies can just run to the store and pick up if they want to just quickly recreate this look. I am using the House Labs foundation brush, but you can use any brush as long as you have a dense makeup brush. And what does dense mean? It's got a lot of bristles. It's quite thick. When you touch it, it doesn't budge. For example, this is not a dense brush. Look at this. Very soft, very fluffy. You do not want to apply foundation with something like this. You want to apply foundation with something like this. Look at how all the bristles stay in place as I press into it. I just apply my foundation. This is the reason. Look at what I just did. This is why the girlies don't do this. I'm just going to use this and just squeeze about 2 or 3 pumps. Some people do just 1. I'm not a 1 pump girly. So I dip my brush into that just a little bit. And I'm going to just start working that into my skin. So a very important thing to note when doing makeup like this is that you do not want to swipe. Some people swipe and I don't, you know what the thing is for me? I don't even like the sensation of swiping my makeup. It just feels dirty. I don't know. I don't like that. So I staple it in, I dab it on my face. Let's just try to blend this out as far as we can go before dipping back in. I would call this a medium coverage foundation. So if you don't want your makeup to look too heavy, you can do like a light spread of this foundation. And yeah, I think you'll get the look you want. But if you want your makeup to look quite, you know, like you're like me, you're a full glam babe, it's a very, very buildable foundation. And look at how amazingly color correction has just done for my skin. You literally can't see any dark marks. I don't go under my eyes too closely because I'm going to put quite a bit of concealer there. Here we start to work our forehead. So if you want to be a bit more careful to start with, let's say you're a beginner, because this is a beginner friendly, you get a flat brush and you dip that into your foundation and you go around your brows, because if you're a bit scared of messing up your eyebrows, you basically do what you would do with the foundation if it was concealer, and you go around your brows and you make sure that that foundation is applied as closely to your brows as possible, and you do the other side. Personally, I don't do this step because I'm just able to blend it in a way that doesn't mess up my eyebrows. But if you just want to not make a mistake and you also want that proper nice finished look with your brows, this is a matte foundation, so you do not want to work slowly. So if you were to do what I just did, you will do that first and then apply the bit on your forehead, because you do not want to struggle to blend this out. So yeah, you see, if you're not getting close enough to the eyebrow area, you can see that you've already filled it in with the foundation anyway. If you're wearing some lace, do you know what? I actually don't like to use the excess of foundation in my lace because I'm going to use bronzer. You want to bring this down. I just use the excess to kind of, this is where I wipe. I just bring it down my neck a little bit. Might want to just go in with the beauty blender just to really press everything in. I didn't put any foundation on my nose. I'm only just realizing that. So let me get a bit, put that on my nose. Can't think of what's going on there. These are the e.l.f. Hydrating Satin Finish Concealers. I'll be using this in the shade Tan Sand and Medium Warm. If you're trying to get a bright under eye, you always need to have 2 shades. They should be about 3 to 4 shades apart. If you don't want to be too bright, I'll say about 2 to 3 shades apart. This is about 2 to 3 shades apart, so it's not too bright. As a beginner, you don't really want to be doing anything more than 2 to 3 shades apart, because if you go too bright and you're not really in your blending bag, you might struggle. If I'm being very honest with you guys, I am not really interested in my application when it comes to this stuff, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you exactly where to apply products on your face, how to give yourself that lifted look. So you want to get your darker shade. In this case for me, this is Tan Sand, and that's what you want to put right up here like so, following the lift of your eye as though you were literally trying to cut the edge of your eyeshadow. And you do the same thing on the other side. Take it right up there. And then with the same shade, so you can already see I've given myself this lift. With the exact same shade, you're gonna just put that right here, like so, and do the same thing right here, like so. You can see that it's kind of touching my nose. I don't mind that at all. I'm gonna put this on my nose bridge. I'm not gonna be starting in between my eyebrows. We don't wanna do that. We're gonna just draw it right here on the nose bridge, just right there. And then we put a bit on our chin. like so. I might just dot my eyebrow. Just 1, 2, 3. With my lighter shade, I'm just going to fill in the inner corners of my under eye, as you can see. Literally, and I'm going to fill that in. Sorry, I actually forgot a very key step. With the darker shade, we're going to go. I blend the bottom out using a wet beauty blender. You blend that out. I find these e.l.f. concealers quite interesting. I'm still trying to see if I actually love them. Use my foundation brush while I'm working to go around the edges, just to make sure that I blend that out and it looks quite seamless. I do my forehead. I kind of keep it here. So I just keep it here. The last place I do is my nose. I start working my way and I blend out only the darker shades. I want the lighter shade to sit a little bit more. Blend, blend, blend. And I'm not pressing too hard. It's very interesting. You have to blend according to the shape of your face. My face is changing, guys. So you blend your top lip and then you start to work. You bring that up to conjoin with what you've done there. We just focus on this bit for now. And if you can just see, I have very carefully avoided. I've also let that bit sit a little bit as well. Blend that into the nose a little bit and then we start to blend upwards. If you look at my beauty blender, I am only using the tip of the beauty blender. I'm not trying to overspread my makeup. I really want to keep it right here. So as you can see, I'm trying my hardest not to move that beautiful line too much, even though I'm still going to blend it, but I'm working my way down again, making my way downtown, working hard. I don't think that's what she says. I blend all the way into my sideburns, lace, whatever. I am blending that line, but again, trying to just keep everything nice. Can you already see what it's giving? Okay, so I take that up. I hope you guys are enjoying this video and I hope you're finding it useful. I hope you're finding this tutorial easy to follow. If you're following this and you're really enjoying it, please give this video a thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button, girl. What are you doing? Okay, and now we start working. You could just use the same beauty blender. That would be perfectly fine. But I really want to keep my under eye bright. So I'll be using a different brush, a concealer brush. You could also use this Real Techniques brush. It's precise enough for you to do what you want. I'll be using the House Labs version. So we're just going to be blending. As you can see, I'm really keeping it there. I'm not spreading this out. I'm not taking it anywhere it doesn't need to go. I'm keeping it there. I'm taking it close to my eye, not in my eye, just close to it. I'm just filling in that gap. I want to keep the bright under eye. You can see the concentration of that bright under eye right there. I'm not going to bring this down any further, but I am going to take it up because I do want to add to the bright lift. And this is the only thing that I would do. As I'm going higher, I'm applying less pressure because I just want the blend to just fade out seamlessly. I'm not trying to have like a blatant bright press all the way up there. I hope that makes sense. And we do the same thing on the other side. Oh, guys, I'm charging my mic as I'm literally doing this. But we start to blend, 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 blend. I kind of go into my nose. So that line that I create, as you can see, I'm trying to create this line. In fact, I could even create this line a bit higher because like I said, we are trying to get that reverse contour. And that's the same thing we do on this side. We start to blend upwards. We take it down just a little bit to just kind of blend out. And then we take it up, following that line that we created and then applying less pressure as we get towards the end. I hope this is all making sense. Like I said, if it's making sense and you're enjoying it, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. We bring it forward. I'm trying to create that reverse contour, as you can see. So you can either use your brush, but I personally just like to use my beauty blender, the tip, and just very, very faintly, or with a bit more pressure depending on how dry, because this is actually getting really dry now. Go up my nose and down the bridge, up and down the bridge. So I'm not gonna overdo it with trying to like ensure I don't get creasing. I'm gonna get creasing as I do things. This brush or your beauty blender is gonna come back into play before we apply powder. Now, for the contour, the fun part. Everything is the fun part. This is the fun part. Like I said, every single thing that I have can be gotten off the TikTok shop. You know, I love my curve case. I will be using the curve case because I feel like people are more likely to have the curve case than the other thing I want to use. Let me tell you something. I would just dip my brush, but I don't want you guys to make a mistake because it's very pigmented. So get your finger, warm up the product, right? I'm using Chocolate Charm, like I said. This is what it looks like. It looks very nice and chocolatey. We just dab, dab. That's more than enough. 1, 2, 3. And then I will just put this here, excess, because again, don't really want to do too much. I haven't done my nose for a reason. I might just put a little bit, one finger on my eyelid. So this for me, like I said, beginner friendly makeup does not involve eyeshadow. I don't do eyeshadow anymore. I just can't be bothered. I'm going to try to get back into it, but I don't really care for it much. And I'm going to be using this brush. Just any fluffy type of angled-ish brush is what you want to use in this situation. Anyway, I just kind of rotate the brush to ensure that it's capturing my face the way I want. As you can see, it's not yet meeting my highlight too closely, which I don't mind because I'm going to go in with a bronzer. You would apply your bronzer in that space. For some of you, you might feel feel like you want your blush to go in that space, I feel like my blush could be a bit higher, but you're gonna see how it all just works out. We're gonna just do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna just staple that in. You don't want to apply too much. If you do this and you feel like, oh, it's not enough, then you can go and dab more and do it again. This is how I like to do my contour. Nice and blended. It looks seamless. I do the same thing on my forehead. I just got so much flyaways today. I don't know what's going on. I kind of blend just up into my lace. I'm not gonna mess up what we got going on here, but then again, I could kind of diffuse this bit a little bit. And as you can see, we have the contour done. You want to get a fluffy eyeshadow brush. You just do a little dip. You want to even just press that on your hand a little bit, and you want to fill in the space where this line is right here. This is the only time where swiping is actually appropriate in my books. Do you know what? I actually wasn't meant to use this to... I just remembered I wasn't meant to use this. I wasn't meant to use this shade. I knew something was a bit too dark for me. I would have used my bronzer, but it's fine because I take this up into my brow. I basically use that brush. Not trying to lose what I've got going on there, by the way. Not trying to lose that at all. So as you can see, we've given our eyelids that little bit of color. I kind of don't like what I've done with my contour, so I'm just using the rest of my concealer brush just to go over it a little bit to diffuse it out because I want my bronzer. I didn't want to use that. I go in with my bronzer with the same brush. I do have a makeup brush cleaner, but if you don't, you can just literally get tissue and you can just wipe just to make sure you remove that excess dark brown. But if you are like me and you're extra, I have the ISO clean makeup brush cleaner just so that I can remove stuff in between, and I just kind of clean that off on my tissue and my brush is basically brand new again. Like I said, we can get these things off TikTok shop or the high street. I'm going to be using the Jordana Tisha bronzer in the shade Amber Aura. It's actually a bronzer duo. It's got a cream, and then at the bottom we have the powder. We do have that little space where you can see I didn't quite get the contour close to that. This is where the bronzer comes in. I'm going to warm up the product with my finger. You might want to dab it. I was going to warm it and dip it, but let's just do the dabbing so that we can control exactly how much we're putting. So you can see that I'm putting that just right above my contour. This really helps to get that gradient. I'm going to put that on my forehead, not too much on the outside, but more on the inside section. And then we're going to just keep it right here. Keep it right here. And you can see it's very subtle. It's not obvious. Look at how much darker here is, and look at that. And we do the same thing here. We keep it right here. Then we do the same thing here. I'm not taking it too far up because I do want that gradient look. That Jordana Tisha bronzer that I just used. That is how subtle I want my nose contour to look. So just to make sure, dab on the back of your hand so you make sure you don't put in too much. And then we're going to just draw the nose contour. Same thing on the other side. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line because we're actually just going to blend that. I know it does look quite similar to the first time I did this, but it's way more subtle. I'm going to go back in with the highlight brush just to kind of clean up the middle bit. I don't want any harsh lines. I'm going to just diffuse this section and diffuse this section again. It's kind of removed any harshness, and then I'm going to just clean up again very lightly, just that middle bit. I'm just gonna press in again, just very lightly. I just keep going in to like fix my creases. I am gonna add a bit more concealer under my eyes, just one little bit, just to blend into the creases again. So no stress over there. The next step is the fun part. I'm gonna go back into my curve case for any cream blush that you have, whatever that might be. We're doing a Valentine's-y look today, but we don't want to do too much. So we're gonna start with the base of our blush, and we're gonna go in with one of the cooler pink shades. So I just like to use, again, another dense brush. We're going to be using the shade Cherry Cola. I'm going to dab above where I put, just, it's kind of on it, like, so where that line is right there is where I'm putting this. Okay, and this is what we have going on over here. I'm not going to bring this down. I'm going to try and keep it as here as I can, but I don't want to lose my lift too much. But if I do, I don't mind, because sometimes I actually bring this into my eye. I think for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to do that today. I'm just blending that, and I'm just kind of blending it, and I'm just blending it, and I'm just blending it. So when you do this process, you kind of want to just create like a nice small triangle left over of your concealer, but you're going to bring it all back. So that's that. I think we're happy with that. Do we like it? Are you guys seeing the lifted look? Nice. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to kind of close this gap is what I'm doing, but not too much. You can see that little slit right there, and we're just kind of doing it literally a straight line, but I'm taking it up a little bit. But like I said, I do not want to lose my lift, and even if you do kind of touch it, it's not really going to actually disappear. If I'm being honest, it's actually not. So you can kind of go in and kind of mix it into the concealer. You're not gonna really lose that lift because again, it's so set, it's there. So you might be a very simple makeup girly and this is your blush for you, you're happy with this shade, but we're not trying to be shy. We can still have a very simple look, but with a bit more saturation in the makeup. I'm gonna be using Cowlick. This is a very, very, very pigmented shade. One finger can do both cheeks for what I'm trying to achieve, literally. We could just do a little bit there. With the same brush, we're gonna just blend that in there, but I'm not gonna bring this particular shade too low. I'm gonna keep it quite high. I'm gonna keep it up there. I'm gonna do the other side because I need to work both sides at the same time to make sure that my face is looking symmetrical. I'm gonna kind of wipe off because I do feel like there's a lot of product on this brush. Now we're gonna just blend it, diffuse it all together. You're probably thinking, oh my God, but it's looking weird, but it's not. So I'm quite happy with my blush. I don't need to overblend. I put a little bit on my nose from the excess of the brush as well. This is where your concealer comes in. Concealer is about fixing things. We are going in with the brighter shade, nothing else. One dab. Just one there, just one there. Sorry, that was more like two. I'm not gonna wait for this to set. We don't need it to set. We actually want it to be wet. We want to work with it while it's wet. And we're just gonna basically, the lightest bit of pressure, guys, the lightest. We're gonna basically do exactly what we did before. We're gonna just basically take that into the inner corner, not into the nose. We're not adding anything to the nose. This is just strictly about concentrating that bright under eye in the inner corner. Before I work it up, because I don't want to mix it too much into the blush before doing my other eye, I'm gonna do the same thing here, keeping it in that corner and then just taking it out just here, kind of working it down a little bit, and that's it. We don't need to do too much. And then I'm going to start to work it down a bit more and out. I'm going to work it down a bit. Guys, when I tell you, I'm basically not putting any pressure. Like, the brush might as well fall out of my hand. I'm holding my brush firmly, but I'm not pressing because I'm not trying to leave any prints on my face. And we're going to take it up, and we're going to take it up, and we're going to take it up, and we're going to take it nice and up. Bring back that lifted look, open up the eye a bit more, make sure that we remove the harshness of the blush with the concealer. You can see how we just cleaned that up. Look at this side, look at how harsh it is. Look at this side and look at how blended it is. Again, working with this while it's wet. I'm not going back up in there. I don't want to make the inner corner pink. So I'm just going to work this up like we said, recreating that line. But now we're kind of blending that line with the pink, and then we're going to work it down, kind of open up this bit of the eye again, and look at how ready we are to apply powder. This is what you call a base. A good powder is very important. Unfortunately, this is not a drugstore brand. This is Huda Beauty in the shade Banana Bread. This powder is about 35. There are cheaper powders you can get in like Superdrug and stuff for like £10, but I don't play with my powder. So what I like to do is I'm gonna take this off. Ah, it's already been done. If it wasn't like this, I would bang it. I would close it and kind of bang it because I really want a good amount of powder. Personally, I use my beauty blender. Some people use a powder puff. Some people even use some sort of brush, maybe like a smaller version of this. But I am such a beauty blender babe. So some people, yeah, they actually like press the stuff on their arm and stuff. I don't. I want all this powder on my face. And I know it's for even distribution, but I just start to press it lightly before I really start to press it. And the reason why I like to use my beauty blender is because it applies so finely. Now I'm applying a bit more pressure because I am trying to press this into my face. Make sure you really get that inner corner of your nose because very easy to forget. Speaking of the nose, we use a little bit on the tip. We go. Look at how it's just removed that shine. I love this powder so much. It's so blurring. I kind of just go over my brows just to make sure everything is set. I know you're probably thinking, oh my God, but I look so powdery right now. I don't want to put too much powder. You don't put too much powder. By the time your night is halfway, your face is oily. Put enough powder. I'm applying powder everywhere that I applied concealer. I swear you can put this hood all over your face. I'm not even joking. You can also cut underneath your contour with powder. Press that in. Then you could also use a nice clean brush. Just dust that off. We go into our forehead. We do the same thing. I'm dipping in the stuff. And I'm just gonna, again, just where the concealer was. To be quite frank, I just take up with the excess, whatever it is. So I actually would use Mocha Mami. So Fenty's Mocha Mami. This is the old me. I am more into the bronzy, warm look. So under my Jordana Tisha bronzer in the shade Amber Aura, I'll be using the powder that comes with it, which I used to bronze. Using the same brush, really. Actually, no. I'm not using the same brush. I'm going to be using this random brush that I got from TikTok shop. But any type of angled brush, but you could also use the same brush. Just, again, clean it off to remove the shine. And yeah, you just want a nice angled, fluffy brush. and you just want to go in there. That's all you need, just so you can see how much I'm dabbing. If you want to check, wipe it off, but I don't need to do that because this is literally muscle memory for me. So everything that I've done, I do again in powder form. So with the same brush that I used to bronze, I'm just gonna kind of go in again just to really bring back out my nose contour. And then with the blending brush, I'm gonna just go back into my eyes. But you see, for this, I don't like this shade for my eyes. So I'm actually gonna be using my Mocha Mami because I just need something a little bit more dramatic. This is the easiest way just to get a quick, nice look for your eyes. Not too low. We're not trying to lose our lift. Like I said, if you really want, you could go do all this. I don't do it. It's not my thing. Just to kind of diffuse any harsh lines just around the perimeter of my face, just to kind of bring back that warmth. It all really goes a long way, every step. So this is the MAC finishing powder. This is it in dark. So I like to just go in on my forehead specifically because I just don't like that glaring look. I want more focus on my under eye, so I don't want to like, why is my forehead looking like it's actually, you know? So in order to set my face, I want to bring back that dewy look. I love this Glow Milk Mist by the Beauty Crop. I got this from TikTok shop, and we're going to be very generous with this, holding it far enough. Let it dry, keep your face nice and still. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless Foundation Powder. This is just to really, it's an extra step, something I don't actually really do. This is my second time doing it, but I can see why the girlies do it. You want to get the powder. This is just basically to bring out, test how it's going to apply. This is to bring back out the bright under eye, and you just go in with it. And if you feel like you have overdone something, like what I've just done, where's the blush brush? That's what I didn't do. I knew I wasn't done. I knew that I wasn't done. So you would actually just put this right here. You actually wouldn't even take it as high as I'm taking it. You would just put it right there to bring out that bright under eye. Do you see what it's done? We're gonna use some blush. I completely forgot about blush, guys. We're keeping it drugstore and friendly. I'll be using butter and butter together. Just any type of fluffy pointed. This is very pigmented. I've gone crazy with that. Yeah, I knew I forgot something. Like, something just wasn't feeling right. But what I like about these NYX Buttermelt blushes is that they have a natural sheen. So where I'm such a highlight babe, I actually don't need to be when I use this. Put a little bit on my nose. I need to realize I've got two different colored lights on my face, so where one side looks a bit different is because of the light color there. With the tiniest side of an old concealer brush, which I use for blush specifically, just something small, I'm just gonna go in to the top section. You see that lifted look that we got going on? This is to create that gradient that we want. It's looking so pink now on this side, but on this side it's warmer. I need to remember the lighting is actually different. Just to set in that whole foundation powder and everything that I just did. Eyes for me, eyeliner and lashes. That is it. I don't know if I'm going to show you guys me doing this because I'm actually thinking of just going in with some cluster lashes. I know this sounds like so extra. I was going to actually wear strip lashes, but I can't even find the strips I want, guys. I'm literally at that point, you know, when your makeup is just like, it's time to buy everything new. And I make my own lashes and I haven't made them in a while. So. Okay, and we are basically done with our eyes. If you're not really a liquid liner person, like I said, I know liquid liner might not be beginner friendly, but you just have to try, girl. I didn't make you draw the whole lid. I'm making you just fill in the corner here. I'm not making you draw the whole thing. I'm not making you do a wing. I would have done all that, but I'm not making you do that. And for your bottom liner, a pencil. Guys, I'm about to be so unfriendly, but you guys use a pencil. My pencil's finished. I need to basically use a liquid liner. I'm so sorry. If you're a beginner, do not try what I just did because you will literally get this in your eye and mess up your whole makeup. We're nearly there. I know this has been a long tutorial, but we're nearly there. I just want to ensure that I'm showing you everything. You're going to put on some bottom mascara. That is extremely important because we need to make everything look like something is actually happening. This is my Fenty mascara in Hella Thick. You just want to ensure that you avoid pressing onto your eyes very light-handedly. You don't want to get this in your eye. You don't want to get this on your under eye and mess up your makeup either. This is probably my favorite mascara of all time. If you were not going to be using Fenty, I would recommend using one of the Maybelline mascaras. It's such a nice Valentine's-y base. But if you really want to make it even more, you're feeling like, oh, but it's a normal makeup look. Let me show you a little something. I've got the Berries palette by Juvia's Place. I barely go in here, but you can literally, let's use the shade here, this shimmery shade. Go in your inner corner. Let's use the one up there actually. Just go in your inner corner. This is what's going to bring you that like, wow, your makeup looks nice. And when you're sitting across the table and the man you're with is mesmerized thinking, there's just something, I can't put my finger on it. It's this, just in that inner corner to really bring the eyes out. It doesn't look that much. You're probably thinking, oh, it's nothing, but look at how well it complements the blush. And for my lips, because I've got the dark hair going on and stuff, I really want a nice dark outer lip. I'm using the H&B Cosmetics lip liner in the shade number 7. Absolutely love this lip liner. I'm going to overline my lips today because we want to have that dramatic look. And because we're doing this Barbie-ish type of makeup look, I'm going to just straighten my Cupid's bow today. It's going to go straight across. Any matte nude lip, you could just do a gloss, you could do whatever you want, but this is me. It's more of a darker nude to start with. You know what, I might brighten with the H&B lipstick. I can see a bit of unevenness with my lip line, so I'm going to go in there. I kind of can't hide my Cupid's bow because I have one, so we're going to use the H&B lipstick. This is the Pump Gloss from Maybelline in the shade Blush Blaze. I'm feeling like this isn't pink enough for me. I've actually got this Rimmel London lip. This is like such a signature. I normally do this beforehand. I don't know why I didn't show you guys this. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I did this just on my Cupid's bow alone. I don't know why I didn't do it. This is literally my thing. Rub that in to create the ombre, and I'm gonna gloss again. And this is it. I know you guys can see what we've got going on here. I love the little ombre in the middle. This is something that I do. It's the Bolu Bajo lip. You ain't seen it nowhere else. You can see the little pink in the corner. Complements the blush a lot. On Valentine's Day, you have no excuse to not look and feel your best. Make sure that your guy knows you learned from the best. Bolu Bajo, the one and only, because it's only me. I hope you guys really enjoyed following this tutorial. I hope you found it really easy and straightforward. And I hope you guys are serving looks on Valentine's Day, or if you're doing this for a birthday, any event that you're doing this for. I'm a beauty content creator on TikTok. It's my main thing that I do there. Why not bring that flavor to this channel? I love makeup. It's really got my heart, and I love this makeup look even more. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.